Just off the southern coast of Malaysia, near one of the busiest shipping routes on Earth, an entirely new city began rising from the sea. Not a new district, not a waterfront expansion, an entirely new city. Built on 4 artificial islands covering thousands of acres, Forest City was envisioned as one of the most ambitious urban development projects ever attempted in Southeast Asia. Developers promised a futuristic eco-metropolis where vertical gardens covered skyscrapers, autonomous transportation systems connected neighborhoods, and hundreds of thousands of residents would live inside a city designed around sustainability rather than traditional urban sprawl. At full scale, the project carried an estimated development value of nearly $100 billion. The vision was enormous. 4 reclaimed islands, hundreds of residential towers, commercial districts, schools, hospitals, marinas, parks, and smart city infrastructure, a population target approaching 700,000 people. But building a city from scratch in the middle of the sea is one thing, actually filling it with people is another. Today, Forest City remains one of the most debated megaprojects in modern urban development. Some view it as a remarkable engineering achievement. Others see it as a cautionary tale about the risks of building too much, too fast. So, how did engineers create an entirely new city where open water once existed? And what happened after the construction cranes arrived?
To understand Forest City, we first need to understand its location. The project sits in Johor, Malaysia, directly across the narrow Johor Strait from Singapore. This position was not chosen by accident. Singapore is one of the world's most successful city-states, but it faces a challenge shared by many island nations: land scarcity. With limited space available for expansion, land prices in Singapore have climbed among the highest on the planet. Developers saw an opportunity. If a large-scale city could be built just across the border, residents and businesses could potentially enjoy access to Singapore while benefiting from significantly lower property costs. That idea became the foundation of Forest City. The master plan envisioned 4 massive artificial islands covering more than 13 square kilometers of reclaimed land. Instead of developing existing territory, engineers would literally create new land from the sea. The scale was extraordinary. Entire coastlines would be reshaped, new transportation networks would be installed, utility systems would be built from the ground up. Unlike traditional cities that evolve gradually over decades or centuries, Forest City was designed as a complete urban ecosystem from day one. Developers promoted a vision centered around sustainability. Roads would be designed to reduce congestion, green spaces would be integrated throughout residential districts, buildings would incorporate vertical landscaping and environmentally focused architectural features, marketing materials showcased futuristic skylines covered with vegetation, pedestrian-friendly neighborhoods, and modern waterfront developments resembling scenes from science fiction films. The project quickly attracted international attention. Investors saw potential. Governments saw economic opportunities. Developers saw a chance to create one of the largest privately funded urban projects in the region. At its peak, Forest City became a symbol of 21st century megacity ambition. The project promised luxury residences, international schools, commercial districts, healthcare facilities, hotels, entertainment zones, and extensive waterfront infrastructure. Everything was designed around a single goal: creating an entirely new city capable of competing with established urban centers across Asia. But before any of those towers could rise, engineers first faced a much larger challenge. They first had to create the ground beneath them.
When construction began, much of the future city simply did not exist. The first challenge was land reclamation. Creating artificial islands is far more complex than dumping sand into the ocean. Engineers must account for seabed conditions, wave activity, coastal erosion, settlement rates, environmental impacts, and long-term structural stability. The process began with the construction of containment systems designed to define the future island boundaries. Seawalls and protective barriers were installed to create enclosed development zones. These structures would eventually protect the reclaimed land from tides, waves, and coastal erosion. Once containment areas were established, large-scale dredging operations began. Specialized vessels transported enormous quantities of sand and fill material into the designated reclamation zones. Day after day, the sea gradually transformed. Areas that had once been underwater slowly emerged above the surface. But creating land is only the beginning. Freshly reclaimed terrain is often unstable. Newly deposited materials can continue settling for years if not properly treated. To solve this problem, engineers implemented extensive ground improvement programs. Heavy fill loads were strategically placed to accelerate soil consolidation. In some areas, vertical drainage systems helped remove trapped water from underlying sediments. The objective was simple: create a stable platform capable of supporting high-rise construction. Only after the ground reached acceptable engineering standards could vertical development begin. Meanwhile, work continued along the coastline. Seawalls stretched around large sections of the islands. These barriers would become critical infrastructure, defending the new city against wave forces and long-term coastal erosion. Once the platform stabilized, attention shifted toward urban construction. Road networks appeared, utility corridors were installed. Water systems, electrical infrastructure, telecommunications networks, and drainage systems expanded across the islands. Unlike older cities that accumulate infrastructure over generations, Forest City had the advantage of integrated planning. Engineers could coordinate transportation, utilities, and urban development simultaneously. This allowed large sections of the city to emerge rapidly. Residential towers soon dominated the skyline. Many incorporated the project's signature design philosophy. Instead of conventional glass skyscrapers, buildings featured extensive greenery integrated directly into their architecture. Balconies, facades, rooftop areas, and communal spaces incorporated vegetation intended to improve aesthetics while contributing to environmental performance. The visual identity became one of Forest City's defining characteristics. From the air, many structures appeared partially covered by vegetation. Developers promoted the concept as a city where nature and urban life would coexist more closely than in traditional metropolitan environments. Transportation planning also reflected the project's futuristic ambitions. Road systems were designed to separate different types of traffic. Pedestrian connectivity received significant attention. Public spaces were distributed throughout residential districts. Large waterfront areas provided recreational access while enhancing the overall visual appeal of the development. Massive construction operations continued for years. Tower cranes filled the skyline. Heavy equipment moved constantly across newly created land. Entire neighborhoods emerged where open water had existed only a short time before. From an engineering perspective, the achievement was remarkable. Few projects attempt to create multiple artificial islands and simultaneously construct an entirely new city upon them. The logistical complexity alone required coordination between thousands of workers, contractors, engineers, planners, and suppliers. By the late stages of development, Forest City had already transformed the coastline of southern Johor. The physical city was becoming reality. But another challenge was beginning to emerge. A city needs more than buildings. It needs people.
For a time, Forest City appeared unstoppable. Construction progressed rapidly. New towers entered the skyline. Marketing campaigns promoted the project across international markets. The vision remained clear. Hundreds of thousands of future residents, a thriving smart city, a major economic hub near Singapore. Yet reality proved more complicated. Global economic conditions shifted. Property markets changed. Regulatory environments evolved. Demand failed to grow as quickly as many early projections anticipated. As construction continued, questions emerged regarding occupancy levels and long-term population growth. Critics began describing portions of the development as potential ghost cities. Supporters argued that these characterizations oversimplified the situation. Large-scale urban projects often require decades to mature. Many successful cities experienced slow growth during their early years. Developers maintained that Forest City was being built for the long term rather than immediate population targets. Even so, the challenges were difficult to ignore. The project faced changing market conditions, geopolitical shifts, investment uncertainty, and evolving housing demand. These factors affected sales, development schedules, and future expansion plans. Despite these obstacles, construction never completely disappeared. New infrastructure continued to emerge. Additional residential developments progressed. Governments and developers introduced initiatives intended to attract investment, businesses, and residents. Today, Forest City occupies a unique position in the world of megaprojects. It is neither the complete success envisioned by its earliest marketing campaigns, nor the complete failure sometimes portrayed by critics. Instead, it exists somewhere in between, a functioning development built upon extraordinary engineering achievements while continuing to search for its ultimate role in the regional economy. The artificial islands remain, the towers remain, the infrastructure remains, and the original vision of creating a sustainable city from the sea continues evolving. Whether Forest City eventually becomes a thriving urban center or a lesson in large-scale development will likely be determined over the coming decades rather than the coming years.